before you get started.
Oh no, why would you show me that? Why would he do this to me? Hello everyone, welcome back to Royalty Soaps. Today is a really special day because I am doing a type of soap I have never done before. And oh my gosh, you guys, it took me like 5 days, I'm not even joking, to complete the loaves that I made of this. It was so time consuming, but so worth it. Before we begin, be sure to follow me on Instagram because today is the last day you can enter to win the Design a Soap giveaway, where I give one person the chance to design their own soap loaf and then I will create it and send them a free bar. I also wanted to say real quick that I learned this design style from Tanya at Soapish. She has a YouTube channel. Her soaps are fantastic. I will leave links down below and in the upper right hand corner for you to check out. And without further ado, thanks so much for watching and let's get soap making. We begin with the forging of the great ring. And by that I mean I'm gonna pour some lye water into these oils right here. It is time for me to mix this up. Now that everything is all mixed up and incorporated, it is time to section off the first little layer.
I wish I got paid to clean up after you. It's a full-time job.
I measured about 28 ounces of soap batter into my container, so now it's time to add the colorant. I'm going to add just a little bit of green vibrance mica, and now I'm adding in the fragrance. Today I am using Green Irish. This smells so good. It smells very, very, very similar to Irish Spring soap. It's really, really fresh smelling. And then I'm going to blend on low. Now that the fragrance oil is nice and incorporated, I'm going to pour this soap into the molds. Because of the design that I'm doing, I am filling 3 molds today because whenever we cut these soaps in half, we're going to end up with 6 loaves. So let's begin by pouring a good bit into every single one. And then whichever one has the least amount, I'll come back and fill with a little bit more. I think this last one over here definitely has the least, so I'm going to scrapey out my container right here. And then we're going to wait for these layers to set up completely so that I can pour in the next layer, which will be white. So I'm not going to come back and show you mixing up every single layer because that's going to take a really long time, but I will show pouring every single layer. So it's gonna be green and then white and then green and then white all the way to the tippy top of the soap. That took forever, but they're all in the molds now. I'm gonna let this sit for about 24 hours, which means the soap is going to be really easy to unmold, but it's still going to be a little bit sticky on the inside, which is good because whenever we slice them all in half, we want the next part of the soap that we pour to stick really well. So I'll see you in 24. Okay, so my soap has been sitting now for 24 hours, which means it's hard enough to take out of the molds here. So this is how you unmold these. I've had a lot of people ask me how you do this. This little lip that's sticking out here is actually a removable bottom. So all you do is pull this out. I kind of hold my soap in the mold a little bit so it doesn't come out with a thud on the bottom. You place it back down on the table, And then you just pull the soap mold up, just like that. Now all we have to do is peel the silicone liner off the sides and off the bottom, just like this. And your whole soap loaf is unmolded. So you got this nice big loaf of soap. What is the next step? First, we're going to find the direct middle of it. I am using a tape measure because I don't have anything else on hand. It's almost exactly 17 inches, so we're going to mark it at 8.5. Now that it's been marked, I'm going to cut directly down the center. Now you have your 2 equal pieces. We're going to set one aside. And we're going to take this one and turn it so that it is vertical instead of horizontal. For this next step, it is super helpful to have another person with you because you're going to take a wire. Now I'm using what is a cake leveler here, and you're going to cut it right down the middle, just like this. So it's nice to have somebody on the other side guiding the wire. Hey Caleb, my trusty assistant, will you guide this wire while I guide this one? Mm-hmm. Thank you. Oh, Lily, you're so helpful as well. So we're just going to apply with equal pressure all the way down the soap. And again, because the soap is relatively new, it's pretty easy to slice. It hasn't gotten very hard yet. And then we're going to separate the 2 pieces, just like this. So now you have your 2 equal pieces. You're gonna take another mold of the same size and you're gonna make sure that your lines are facing horizontally. So you're gonna stick it in your mold just like this, slide it to the very edge and push it up flat against one of the sides. I'm picking this side closer to me. You'll stick in the other one, gonna slide it in. Make sure again that the flat side is flush up against the mold. And then you're gonna take some saran wrap and cover the soap. That way it stays kind of sticky, kind of tacky, so that when you pour the next layer of soap over it, it bonds. Okay, so now I'm gonna do this with the other half of the loaf, and I'm gonna continue until all of my loaves are cut up and placed in the molds like so. And when you're done, you're going to end up with molds that look a little bit like this. And you remember, I started out with 3 molds, so when you cut them all in half, you end up with 6. So keep that in mind. And now it's time to mix up the second batch. The second half of this soap is going to be a marbled sort of look because I thought with the stripes that would be nice and complementary. The marble will be white and then with sort of like black swirls and stuff. So let's begin by mixing up our lye water solution into our oils. I'm having deja vu. I feel like I've done this before. Now that our soap is all mixed up, I'm going to pour off a little bit into this container for the black. I'm just gonna pour about that much. And that's all the black I'm gonna be using for all 6 soaps, because when you do a marbled look, the black and the white mix quite a bit, and so having too much of the black can be easily really overwhelming. For the colorants, I'm going to be using titanium dioxide. We're just gonna pour that straight into here. And then I have some black oxide mixed with water, and I'm gonna pour that into the container that I want to swirl. And I'm just gonna put that right into this little container, and then I'm going to blend. First thing I am going to do is pour some of this white into this bucket right here, because it'll be a lot easier to pour out of this container than out of the huge rectangle one. I have added in the fragrance oil, so I'm just going to blend that in by hand. It goes a little yellow at first, but it does end up being a nice white by the end of the cure. I've put a little bit of fragrance oil in the black as well, so I'm just going to mix that in. And then from up high, I'm gonna pour some of the black in a circle, just like that. That's all I'm gonna put in for the black. All right, so let's pour into the first mold. I'm gonna spritz these real quick with rubbing alcohol, just to help the soap stick to one another. And I'm gonna start in the middle, and I'm just gonna pour down the side here. You can see there's some of the black going in. So pretty. Just keep on pouring until the entire mold is completely full. Okay, so this is one done. Now all I have to do is the other 5. This is what they look like after we have put all of that batter into these molds. So you can see these 4 on the ends. Those look great. But these 2 in the middle, they're lacking a little bit of soap. So I'm going to melt some glycerin soap. I'm going to dye it green, and then we're going to put that on top. And I think it's going to look really cool because then it'll be like not only a mixed medium soap, but it'll have the 2, you know, separate sides, both the marbled and the stripes as well. So there will be a lot going on with those 2 in the middle. Okay, so let's add this cool melt and pour to the top. I've mixed it with a little bit of Clean Your Room Green from TKB Trading. We are done. I'm gonna let these sit for a really long time, probably 48 hours, to make sure that they are nice and hard before we cut them. But then we will get to see what the inside looks like. It has been over 48 hours now, so it's time to do the final cut on this soap. I'm really excited to see what it looks like on the inside. So I'm gonna line this up with my cutter here, and I can already see that there are some little ridges and stuff that need to be cleaned up, but we'll worry about that later. Now that I've lined it up with my cutter, I'm gonna press down gently. Gently, gently, get a nice even cut. All right, let's pick one right out of the middle. All right, this is what it looks like on the inside. So you can see here's that nice crisp line right there that Caleb and I cut together. Then we have the nice green, and then we have the kind of gray and white and black marble look, which is awesome. And then on the top, pretty uniform, and it has the pretty emerald mica swirl on top. So all in all, I am extremely happy with this soap. It was a lot of work, took many days to complete, but well worth it in the end. And the fragrance is really strong, like really, really strong. Ooh, I love these 2. The design on top is so pretty. So the question of the day is, do you like the striped side or the marbled side of this soap better? Because in the future, depending on what you say, I might do a full soap of stripes or a full soap of the marble, like with the split down the middle. Wouldn't that be really cool to have like a marbled and like black color over here and then like marbled and blue? Or with the stripes, the same way, like do a green stripe over here and like a pink stripe up here. I think that'd be awesome. You can vote by clicking the I in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And for those who are curious about the soaps that I put the glycerin on top, this is what it looks like. So it does have this really cool looking effect. I don't know, I might like these the best. They look so interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also, if you aren't subscribed to the Royalty Soaps channel, please do by clicking the little subscribe button down below and ring the notification bell so that the magical soap fairy can send you updates whenever I create a new video. And until next week, I hope you all have an absolutely royal day, and bye for now.